Close your eyes. Let your shoulders fall away from your ears. Unclench your jaw. Let the heavy curtain of the day drop to the floor. You are safe here. You are warm. Tonight, we are going to travel back in time, drifting on the river of history to a place where the world was wide and wild. We are going to the edge of the known world 1,000 years ago. We will sit by a fire in a longhouse made of turf and stone, and we will sail on a ship made of oak and pine. We will watch the fog roll over the North Atlantic, and we will step onto the shores of a new world. Breathe in deeply, filling your lungs with cool, clean air, and breathe out, letting go of everything but this moment. The story begins not on land, but on the vast, breathing expanse of the North Sea. Imagine, if you will, the color of the water. It is not merely blue, it is the deep, dark steel of a blacksmith's anvil, shifting to slate gray, and then to a foam-flecked silver under the pale northern sun. We are aboard a ship, but this is not a vessel of war. It is a nar, a trading ship, broad and sturdy, returning home after a long season of peace. Listen to the sound of the ship. It is a living thing. The hull is made of overlapping oak planks, clinker-built, locked together with iron rivets that have rusted to the color of dried leaves. As the ship rises on a gentle swell, the wood groans softly, a deep, resonant crack, and as it descends, it settles with a hush of displacement. This is the heartbeat of the voyage. Creak and hush, rise and fall. The wind is behind us. It fills the single, large square sail. The sail is woven from heavy wool, dyed a rusty red with madder root, and treated with animal fat to repel the spray. You can smell the lanolin in the wool, a scent that is organic and comforting, mixing with the sharp, briny tang of the salt air. The sail captures the wind, holding it in a firm embrace, propelling the ship forward with a steady, unyielding pressure. There is no engine, no mechanical hum, only the elemental force of air moving wood through water. Feel the motion in your own body. You are sitting on a bench covered in sheepskins. The fleece is thick and oily, warm against the cool sea spray. With every roll of the ship, your muscles make tiny adjustments, rocking you, like a cradle rocked by the hand of the ocean itself. You are safe here. The sea is not an enemy today. It is a vast, fluid road leading you home. Look over the side of the ship. The water rushes past, a blur of dark glass. Occasionally, the surface breaks. A porpoise, sleek and gray, arches its back out of the water, takes a breath, pfft, and slips silently back under. It is a moment of pure grace. The Vikings believed the sea was filled with sjøvætter, sea spirits, who guarded the waters. Today they are calm. They watch the ship pass with ancient, unblinking eyes, granting us safe passage. Chapter 2. Entering the fjord. The horizon begins to change. The endless line of the open ocean is broken by jagged shapes. Mountains. We are approaching the coast of Norway. The transition is subtle. The waves, which were long and rolling, begin to flatten out. The wind loses its bite and becomes a gentle breeze. We are entering the fjord. A fjord is a sanctuary carved by ice. Imagine the towering cliffs rising up on either side of the ship, sheer walls of granite that disappear into the low-hanging clouds. The water here is different. It is calmer, darker, reflecting the black rock and the green pines like a mirror. The ship glides now. The creaking of the hull stops, replaced by the soft slap, slap, slap of small ripples against the prow. High above, waterfalls cascade down the cliff faces. From this distance, they look like thin white ribbons, motionless and silent. But if you listen closely, you can hear a low, distant hum, a white noise that underpins the silence of the fjord. It is the sound of glacial meltwater returning to the sea, a cycle that has continued for 10,000 years. The air in the fjord is rich with scents. The salt fades, replaced by the smell of damp earth, pine resin, and cold stone. It is a green smell, heavy with oxygen and life. We pass a small island, barely more than a rock jutting out of the water. On it, a colony of seals is resting. They are gray and mottled, lying on their sides like stones. As the ship passes, one raises its head, blinks slowly, and lowers it again. There is no fear here, only a shared existence in the quiet of the north. The captain, a man with a beard the color of frost, stands at the steering oar, the styra, at the back of the ship. He barely moves. He reads the water like a book. He knows where the currents swirl, where the rocks hide. His hand on the tiller is gentle, correcting the course with minute movements. He is guiding us in. Chapter 3. The Rhythm of the Oars. The wind drops as the fjord narrows. It is time to row. This is not the frantic rowing of battle, but the steady, pacing rowing of arrival. The crew takes their places. They slide the long oars made of ash wood through the oar ports. Listen to the rhythm. Dip. The blade enters the water with a clean slice. Pull. The wood bends slightly, transferring the power of the arms to the water. Lift. The blade emerges, dripping diamonds of water. Swing. The rower leans forward for the next stroke. Dip. Pull. Lift. Swing. Dip. Pull. Lift. Swing. The sound is hypnotic. Splash. Thunk. Drip. Swish. It synchronizes with your breathing. Breathe in as they swing back. Breathe out as they pull. In and out. The ship moves forward in surges, a heartbeat of motion. The crew does not speak. There is no need for words. They are united in the rhythm, a single organism moving across the surface of the black water. We pass under the shadow of a great mountain. The air cools instantly. The sun is blocked, and we are in the twilight of the cliffs. But ahead, a beam of sunlight breaks through a gap in the peaks, illuminating a patch of green on the shore. It is the homestead. It is Heim. Chapter 4. The Arrival. The ship slows. The oars are drawn in, sliding wet and shining into the hull. The ship coasts on its own momentum, drifting silently toward the wooden dock that extends into the water. The wood of the dock is silver gray, worn smooth by generations of feet and keels. With a gentle scrunch, the keel kisses the sandy bottom. We have arrived. The movement of the sea stops, replaced by the stillness of the land. The crew steps off the ship, their boots crunching on the gravel. They tie the ship to heavy iron rings set into the stone. The knot is tied, a bowline, simple and strong. The rope is made of hemp, rough and fibrous. It pulls taut, holding the ship safe against the land. Take a moment here. Feel the ground beneath your feet. It is solid. It does not roll. It supports you completely. You have crossed the abyss and returned to the earth. The voyage is over. The rest begins. Chapter 5. The Turf and the Stone. The village is not a crowded city, but a cluster of farmsteads nestled in the valley bowl. The houses are built to breathe with the land. Look at the Longhouse. It is low and long, hugging the ground to escape the wind. Its walls are not just wood, they are alive. They are built of turf, blocks of earth cut from the bog, stacked like bricks. The grass still grows on them. In the summer, the house is a green hill. In the winter, it is a white mound. The roof is covered in birch bark, layered like shingles, and then topped with more turf. Wildflowers bloom on the roof, bluebells and buttercups swaying in the breeze. A goat is grazing up there, indifferent to the world, chewing slowly. Chomp, chomp, chomp. We walk past the houses. The path is beaten earth, packed hard. To our left is a stone wall, built without mortar. Each stone was chosen for its shape, fitted together in a puzzle of gray granite. The stones are covered in lichen, star-bursts of orange and pale green. Run your hand over the stone in your mind. It is cool, rough, and ancient. It has stood here since the time of the grandfathers, and it will stand here long after we are gone. Chapter 6. The Wool and the Sheep. Beyond the houses lie the pastures. The fences are made of woven willow branches, a wattle fence that looks like a basket. Inside, the sheep are grazing. These are Old Norse sheep, small and hardy, with wool that is double-coated. They have a coarse outer coat to shed the rain and a soft, downy undercoat to trap the heat. Listen to the sounds of the pasture. The gentle baa of a ewe calling to her lamb, the muffled thud of hooves on the grass, the sound of tearing grass as they graze. It is a peaceful, domestic sound. A woman is standing by the fence. She is not idle. Her hands are always moving. She holds a drop spindle. She is spinning yarn as she watches the flock. Watch the spindle twirl. It is a wooden disc with a stone weight. She flicks it with her thumb. Whir! It spins, suspended in the air. She drafts the wool from her distaff, teasing out the fibers. The chaotic fluff of wool becomes a single, strong thread. Twist and spin. Twist and spin. It is a metaphor for life in the North, bringing order out of chaos, strength out of softness. The smell here is strong and earthy. It smells of sheep, of clover, of wet wool. It is not an unpleasant smell. It is the scent of survival and warmth. Chapter 7. The Smithy's Song. Further down the path, near the stream, stands the smithy. The blacksmith is the magician of the village. He turns rock into tools. But today he is not forging swords for war. He is making a latch for a door, a simple tool for the home. Listen to the song of the metal. Whoosh! The bellows breathe, feeding air into the charcoal fire. The coals glow from a dull red to a blinding orange. Clang! The hammer strikes the hot iron. Clang! Clang! The sound rings out across the valley, a clear bell-like note that marks the passage of time. The rhythm is slow and deliberate. The smith is not rushing. He examines the metal, turning it with his tongs. He cools it in a bucket of water. Hiss! A cloud of steam rising up to the rafters. The smell of the smithy is distinct. Ozone, hot iron, and charcoal dust. It is the smell of transformation. Chapter 8. The Forest Bath. We leave the village behind and walk toward the tree line. The forest, the Vidder, is the true ruler of Scandinavia. We step under the canopy. The light changes instantly. It becomes filtered, green and gold dappled by the leaves. We are walking on a carpet of pine needles. They have fallen for centuries, creating a floor that is soft and spongy. Your footsteps make no sound here. Silence is the gift of the forest. Look at the trees, the Scots pine with its reddish bark that looks like puzzle pieces. The Norway spruce, tall and dark, its branches drooping like heavy skirts. The birch, white and slender, its papery bark peeling in curls. We find a patch of moss. It is deep green, almost luminous. Crouch down and touch it. It is softer than velvet, cool and damp. It springs back when you press it. This is the mattress of the forest. Hidden among the moss are the treasures of the north. Mushrooms with brown caps, ferns unfurling their fiddleheads in perfect spirals, and berries. Imagine foraging for cloudberries. They grow in the boggy areas, low to the ground. They are amber-colored, like soft jewels. You reach out, pluck one. It is soft, juicy, and tart. You pluck another, pluck. The act of gathering is meditative. You are not hunting. You are receiving what the earth offers. The air here is the cleanest in the world. Breathe it in deep. It smells of pine sap, that sharp, sticky scent, and of decaying leaves, a rich, mushroomy smell that signifies the cycle of life and death. Chapter 9. The Land Spirits. Landvatir. In this silence, it is easy to believe in the Landvatir. The Vikings believed that every rock, every stream, and every tree had a guardian spirit. We approach a large boulder in a clearing. It is covered in gray lichen. We do not climb on it. We do not chip it. We respect it. Perhaps we leave a small offering, a single berry or a smooth stone from the river, on the ledge of the boulder, a gift for the Huldu folk, the hidden people. A stream cuts through the forest. The water is ice-cold, clear as glass. It bubbles over smooth stones. Burble, gurgle, splash. The sound is constant, a lullaby that never ends. We dip a hand in. The cold is shocking, then refreshing. It wakes the senses. This water has melted from a glacier, traveled through the veins of the mountain, and is now here, offering life. Chapter 10. Entering the Longhouse. The sun begins to dip below the ridge. The air turns cold, the blue twilight settling over the land. It is time to go inside. We return to the Longhouse. The door is heavy oak, bound with iron straps. We pull it open. Creak. We step over the high threshold, meant to keep out drafts and bad spirits, and the door closes behind us with a solid thud. The world outside is gone. The wind is gone. The cold is gone. We are enveloped in the womb of the house. The interior is dim, lit only by the long central hearth that runs down the middle of the earthen floor. There are no windows, only the lyre, the smoke hole in the roof, which lets in a faint square of gray sky. The air is thick and rich. It consists of layers of scent. At the bottom, the smell of the earth floor and the dry straw strewn about. In the middle, the smell of roasting meat, baking bread, and human warmth. At the top, hanging in the rafters, the sweet, acrid smell of wood smoke curing the hams and sausages hanging there. Walk to the fire. It is not a roaring, dangerous blaze, but a controlled domestic fire. Logs of birch and oak are burning slowly. Snap. A pocket of sap explodes quietly. Hiss. Moisture evaporates from the wood. The flames dance in colors of orange, blue, and yellow. Watch the flames. They are hypnotic. They twist and curl, shaping themselves into mountains and valleys of light. The heat radiates outward, warming your face, your hands, your shins. You sit on a bench covered in reindeer skins. The fur is deep and dense. You sink into it. The hollow hairs of the reindeer fur trap the heat against your body. It is the warmest thing you have ever felt. It is time for the evening meal. In the Viking Age, the meal was a communal anchor. An iron cauldron hangs over the fire on a heavy chain. Inside, a stew is simmering. Let us look at the ingredients. Simple earthy roots, turnips chopped into chunks, carrots, sweet and orange, onions melting into the broth, and chunks of salted mutton, tender after hours of cooking. The sound of the spoon stirring the pot, swish, clink. A wooden bowl is placed in your hands. It is smooth, polished by years of use. It is warm from the stew inside. You take a bite. The flavors are savory, salty, and sweet from the root vegetables. It is comfort food in its most primal form. Beside the stew is flatbread, baked on a hot stone by the fire. It is crisp on the outside, soft on the inside, tasting of barley and wood smoke. And a horn of mead, fermented honey and water, perhaps flavored with meadowsweet or yarrow. It is sweet and golden, coating the throat, warming the belly. After the meal, the work continues, but it is quiet work. This is the time for husflid, home industry. The women return to the loom. It is a warp-weighted loom, leaning against the wall. The warp threads hang down, weighted by clay stones. Watch the weaver. She passes the shuttle through the threads. Slide. She beats the thread up with a wooden sword. Thwack, slide, thwack, slide, thwack. The rhythm is slow and steady like a heartbeat. She is weaving a diamond twill pattern, complex and beautiful. The Vikings believed the Norns, the three goddesses of fate, wove the destinies of men like threads. Tonight, the destiny is simply a warm cloak for the winter. A man sits by the fire, whittling a piece of wood. He is carving a toy for a child, a small wooden horse. Scritch, scritch. The knife shaves off thin curls of wood, which fall into the fire and flare up. He is focused, his breathing slow. He is not just making a toy. He is putting his care into the wood. The hall is filled with the murmur of low voices. There is no shouting, just the gentle exchange of the day's events. The sheep are well. The barley is golden. The ship has returned. Then an elder begins to speak. It is time for a story. Not a saga of war, but a story of the gods in their peaceful moments. He tells of Idun and her golden apples. In Asgard, he whispers, there is a garden that never fades. And in that garden walks Idun. She carries a basket of ash wood. And in that basket lie the apples of youth. They are gold and cool to the touch. When the gods are tired, when their bones ache from the weight of the world, they take a bite. Crunch. And the juice is like the spring rain, and their weariness washes away. The voice of the storyteller is a drone, a low vibration that settles in your chest. The children's eyes grow heavy. The dogs by the fire let out deep sighs, twitching in their sleep. The fire burns down. It is no longer a flame, but a bed of glowing coals, the gledder, a bed of rubies breathing in the dark. The activity in the hall ceases. The loom stops. The carving stops. People move to the sleeping platforms along the walls. They draw the heavy wool curtains, creating small private caves of warmth. But before we sleep, we must look at the night. We step out the door one last time. The transition is absolute, from the warm, smoky gold of the hall to the crisp, silent blue of the night. The wind has died completely. The world is frozen in a crystal silence. The snow has begun to fall. Fun, the deep, drifted snow. It falls in large, soft flakes. They make no sound as they land. They settle on the roof, on the fence, on the ground, smoothing out the edges of the world. Everything becomes round and soft. Look up. The sky is a vast dome of velvet black, pierced by millions of points of light. There is no light pollution here. The stars are so bright they look like ice crystals suspended in the air. We see the constellations of the north. There is Karlvagn, the man's chariot, the Big Dipper. It wheels slowly around the center of the sky, marking the eternal passage of the night. There is Friggjörokr, Frigg's distaff, Orion's belt, the three bright stars hanging in the south. Just as the women spun inside, Frigg spins the clouds in the sky. There is Leidarstjarna, the guiding star, Polaris. It does not move. It is the nail that holds the sky in place. Focus on that star. It is steady. It is constant, like you. And then, the Norderljós, the northern lights. They start as a faint green glow on the northern horizon. Then they unfurling like ribbons of silk, green, violet, and white. They do not move quickly tonight. They drift. They shimmer. They fold over themselves like curtains in a slow breeze. They are the spirits of the ancestors, dancing a slow waltz. They are not scary. They are guardians. They wrap the world in light. We remember the Tomt, the little house spirit. He is small, wearing a gray tunic and a red conical cap. He lives in the barn. Before we go in, we leave a bowl of porridge by the barn door. A pat of butter melts in the center. We imagine him finding it. He eats it happily. Then he begins his rounds. He checks the cows. Pat, pat. They are warm. He checks the sheep. Pat, pat. They are safe. He walks the perimeter of the farm. His small footprints in the snow are the seal of protection. He watches, so we do not have to. You can let go of your vigilance. The Tomte is on guard. The ancestors are watching from the lights. The walls are thick. You are safe. We return to the bed. We pull the furs up to our chin. The heavy weight of the reindeer skin is comforting. It presses down, grounding us. Close your eyes. Imagine the great tree, Yggdrasil. It stands in the center of the universe. Its branches stretch up to the stars, holding the planets like fruit. But we are not in the branches. We are going down, down to the roots. The roots go deep into the earth, deeper than the snow, deeper than the stone, into the warm, dark earth. One root drinks from the well of wisdom. One root drinks from the well of fate. We curl up among the roots. They are massive wooden arms holding us. We are connected to the earth. The tree breathes. In, the sap rises. Out, the sap falls. In, out. The fire is just a spark now. The world is wrapped in wool and snow. The ship is docked. The sheep are sleeping. The hammer is still. The thread is spun. There is nothing left to do, nothing left to carry. The darkness is soft. The silence is complete. Rest now. Rest in the north. Rest. Sleep.